All right, class. So today we're going to be jumping into our assignment for learning about the food chain. So to understand the food chain, we need to learn two important words today. Our first word is producer. Think about that word. What does the word producer sound like? There's a root word in there. Think about it right quick. Your second word is consumer. This word also has a root word. So take 10 seconds to think about it, and then we're going to turn to our shoulder partners and share what words we hear in producer and also consumer. All right, so when I say the word producer, it reminds me of the word produce. That's funny. I know whenever I go to a grocery store, I've seen the word produce before. I know it usually has to do with like vegetables, like cabbage, lettuce. I'm thinking more plants. Now thinking of the word consumer. I have heard this word in social studies before. Consumer. I know that when I go to the store to buy my groceries, like my produce, that I am a consumer when I hand over my money to the cashier. So take your whiteboards out and your dry erase markers, and let's go ahead and do our four square model. And in your circle, our first word we're gonna do is producer. Okay, you already know we gotta write our example, non-examples, my definition, and then drawing. Whenever you got all of that, put your hands on top of your head so I know that you're done. All right, so producer, let's think of some examples. So I know that producer, we're talking about plants earlier. I know for science, since we're talking about the food chain here, we learned a little bit about photosynthesis last week. I know that producers get their food from the sunlight through photosynthesis. So we can write, what plants, guys? What plants do we know? I heard somebody say grass. We got flowers, good job. And then write down one on your own. So if all of these are getting their food from the sun, what's not getting their food from the sun? Who does not make their own food? Cows, good job. Cows, what else? Good. We do not make our own food, so humans. So what is your definition of a producer? We know that producers, that they have something in common. Plants, they're green, that they go through photosynthesis. So write your own definition. So I'm going to put makes their own food. Makes own food. And for my drawing, I'm going to draw the sun. You draw whatever you like to help you remember. And I'm just going to draw some tall grass, because this tall grass will help me to remember that the sunlight gives the grass its own food. Grass is the producer. All right, flip it to your other side of your whiteboard. We're going to do the same thing, except this time we're doing what word? Consumer. Good job. So write consumer. Okay, so earlier I talked about I go to the store. I hand over my money to the worker. I am now the consumer. So what can that help me for science? How can that help me out? So we know producer gets the food from the sun. Earlier in our non-examples, y'all had the word cows. What do cows eat? They eat the grass. So they consume the grass. So an example now can be cow on this side. It can be basically any living thing. It can be a turtle. It can be an ant. It can be anything that eats the producer, that eats the grass. So now my non-examples, funny, y'all said grass, okay. Something that can't eat, a rock. my definition. Consumer, that root word consume. So we can put eats producer. Good job. So now for my consumer part, for my drawing, I'm gonna just draw a cow since we listed that as an example earlier. We got my cow, and then I'm gonna point an arrow to the grass because that's what it's gonna be eating. All right. Now, later on, we're going to make a Venn diagram, and we're gonna compare the differences between a producer and a consumer. And then later on today, we will go on a photo gallery walk where we have to walk around. We're going to identify the producers and consumers. And you're going to fill that out on a chart that I'm going to give you. You're going to cut, you're going to glue, and you're going to label your producers and consumers. You find the producers and consumers by walking around during that photo gallery walk. Okay?